This is Blackjacks Weekly.
Presented by Bud Light on 97.3 ESPN.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. With your hosts, the voice of the Blackjacks, Nick Kosko.
And head coach Ron James.
Now, Blackjacks Weekly.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township, it's Blackjacks Weekly presented by Bud Light. I'm your host, Nick Kosko, joined alongside by Atlantic City Blackjacks head coach Ron James. Wide receiver LaMark Brown will join us in a little bit. Coach, brand new week, obviously coming off a loss, but it's a brand new week. 3 straight home games coming up now at Boardwalk Hall. It's great to be back home, I would say.
Oh, it's awesome to be back home, and especially to be back home for 3 straight games. It's exactly what we needed after a rough road trip. You know, we didn't play up to our potential, but we're ready to do that this week.
What's it mean for you guys to actually be able to practice in the arena now, considering you guys were over in Egg Harbor City practicing in one of those practice bubbles, but the field is laid out this week. You guys got a couple practices within the arena today. It seems to be a lot easier, a lot more convenient for you guys, knowing that the locker room is right there, the meeting rooms for film and all that is right there as well. You guys just walk right onto the field, and boom, here you go.
Well, it's a big advantage because you can't really replicate it. You try to in any indoor facility that you're going to be in, but you don't have those walls, you don't have the net system, you don't have the same turf and the markings and all that stuff. So very difficult to replicate the field systems anywhere else. So having that advantage this week should be great for us, and also having the friendly confines of Boardwalk Hall, that's always a plus for us.
So we go back to last week in D.C. against the Valor. They were the defending champions. They raised their banner. I know we talked about that last week as well. Guys came up short just last week, but it seems like even though it was only a 7-point loss, I know we talked about it before at practice today, it seems like the game seemed a lot closer than it actually was, but then in reality you look at other stuff where you take out 1 or 2 mistakes and that game completely goes the other way.
Well, I think one of the highlights for us was the fact that we came back and proved that at the end of the game we put ourselves in position to actually win, and we couldn't do that. We couldn't get the onside kick at the end of the game to be able to move the ball down the field and give us that opportunity. That was disappointing, but you have to understand that in that environment, you're going against the defending champs. They're showing off their championship rings and hanging the banners and all that stuff, and it's a tough environment. They were definitely gassed up for us, and we didn't come out and particularly play well in the first half, and not the way that we're capable of anyway. And so, we were disappointed by the outcome, disappointed that we couldn't come home with the win in a tough environment. But we know that we're going to have better days ahead, and we know that this week we're a refocused bunch, and we know that playing at home could be a great advantage for us. We're trying to take advantage week to week, but this week's big for us.
I'm looking at the wide receivers, and last week it seemed like you just mentioned before, Randy Hippert and company, you guys got off to a slow start offensively. We're going to have LaMark join us in a little bit, but guys like him, Kendrick Ings, Antoine Graham, these are your 3 top guys at wide receiver. It seemed like the offense was finally able to open up a bit more in that second half, and I think it was highlighted by Kendrick's 49-yard touchdown from the shadow of your own end zone. He just went off and running. I think with stuff like that almost is the opportunity for you guys to actually open up that offense so you can have Kendrick go deep, and then it spreads the ball out. And then a big guy like LaMark who can go over the middle or go deep and be your red zone threat as well. I mean, does stuff like that actually open up the offense more now?
Yeah, the second half was very fluid for us, and we liked the way we moved the ball in the second half. And obviously in the first half, things weren't to our liking. But that's the mark of a good team is what do you do when that happens? And we talked about it during the week. Our defense has been picking us up, in the first 3 games, and offensively, there's going to come a point where we're going to have to pick up the defense. It's just that's arena football. We're going to be in some shootouts. So I think we're poised to turn that page, if you will, and to understand exactly what that takes. And so our guys, and LaMark's one of those guys, the veteran leadership we have on the offensive side is going to start to kick in, and really with the weapons that we have, when you got Kendrick with his speed, and you got Grant who can also fly, and LaMark who's fully healthy and he can run, and those type of things. We've got a 3-headed monster that's going to be difficult to contain, and Randy's had all league seasons, and he can get himself in that position again this year. I'm very confident our offense will make big strides in the next couple of weeks, and we'll start turning the page as far as that's concerned. But it will only go as far really as our offense enables us to.
So now the offense is making more strides in recent weeks. Obviously, a couple weeks ago back at Boardwalk Hall in the first game, it played at home. You guys beat Columbus. The offense was on full display. Really no mistakes offensively. Really no mistakes in that game. Now through 3 weeks, and we've discussed this before in the past, and we know it's been affecting not just you guys but other teams around the league, are the new timing rules. I know we've mentioned on this show before. We've mentioned it on the game broadcast as well. That clock never stops, and the timeout situation now, you can only stop the clock 3 times. The first 2 are just a play clock reset. Does the strategy change now? Have you guys at least noticed through the first 3 weeks you guys adjusting now to these new timing rules, considering in years past arena football you had a 1-minute warning at the end of each half? Now it's only a 30-second warning in the fourth quarter, and now you can take knees. You no longer need that positive gain if you're the leading team at the end of the game.
Well, a lot of the game management tools have been taken away from us by rule, but that's fair for everyone. Everyone's got the same situation. I think the rapid play in the first half limits the possessions and makes them more valuable. So we really have to look at how you play that first half, and knowing that possessions are at a premium, you have to be able to manage the clock at the very end of the half and leave yourself some timeouts so you don't get left empty-handed. And you want to be able to be in a position that you haven't had to worry about in the past, which is more of traditional football. That 4-minute offense is actually coming into play now. And so, in the first half, all those things kind of come together, and in the second half, you've got a modified 1-minute timing rule, a 30-second rule at the end of the game, and all those things that come together really lead to have the scores come down a little bit, but they do increase the pacing of the game. So we're very positive that we're going to adjust like every other team does, and once our team gets on top of all the details, we'll be able to do the things the way we're capable of.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically pros and cons to it. Obviously,
exactly.
People like the fact that the game does go a little bit faster, and people are used to college football. If you're sitting down on a Saturday afternoon, you're watching a college football game, you could be sitting there for 4 hours, and nobody really wants to sit there for 4 hours. And I think the players and coaches also don't want to be in a game that's going to take 4 hours, when in actuality, without all the media breaks and there's certain rules and penalties, the game can be over in 2.5 hours. And arena football now has increased to between 2 and 2.5 hours of gameplay. When you mentioned that 4-minute offense just before, you mentioned that is actually more towards the traditional outdoor game where you're talking about college and the NFL. The 4-minute offense is very interesting in the Arena Football League, considering if you're in that 4-minute offense, you're almost saying to yourself, all right, maybe we'll try to bleed this one possession all 4 minutes, and usually you don't see that in the indoor game.
Well, it depends if you're on what end of it you're on. If you're about to kick off and there's 4 minutes left, then you have to really consider what you're doing with the clock. And, if you're getting the ball in that situation, you're right. Can you milk the clock, or are you looking for a quick score? Are you going to turn it back around with an onside kick? I mean, your decisions are actually pushed forward more towards the middle of the second quarter than they used to be, at the end of the half. So it's more of a change in mindset. And, we really embrace the changes, because to me, you're either changing or you're stopping to grow. And the league is growing, and the opportunities grow for everybody, and we want to make sure we're in the forefront of that. So I'm excited about what it's doing, and I'm excited to see how our team adjusts week to week with that, and to see the other team strategies as well. So every team approaches it differently. Every coach approaches it differently. For me, I'm just trying to manage it in the way that's best for our team, to utilize the talents of a guy like LaMark Brown or Randy Hippert or Kendrick Ings, or those guys that on the offensive side that are going to make plays for us. We want to make sure that they're in the best position to finish the halves out strongly.
Now, with the game coming up this weekend, it's back at home, Boardwalk Hall this Saturday, May 18th, 7 p.m. kickoff, 6:30 p.m. Pregame coverage starts right here on 97.3 ESPN. Baltimore's coming into town. You guys have seen some very interesting quarterbacks throughout the entire season. A former MVP in Dan Rodabaugh for Philadelphia, Arvell Nelson last week for Washington, who won the title with Washington last year, and also Grant Russell, a rookie for Columbus. Now you get Shane Boyd. He's a veteran in this league as well. How do you guys prepare for him in that Baltimore offense, and as well as Baltimore as a whole? Well,
when you have 6 teams in the league, you've got high-quality quarterbacks across the board, and no exception this week. So we're looking forward to seeing Shane Boyd. I mean, he's had an exceptional season thus far in the first quarter of the year. We really think that he's on target. We have to make sure we move him off the spot, make sure that we change up some of our looks on the back end, and apply pressure. I mean, pressure is big in any game, and especially in the game of football, where the quarterbacks don't have much time to hold the ball back there in arena football. So we're looking forward to seeing what he can do. We understand that they're a very explosive team, so defensively we have to be up to snuff, and we also have to understand that offensively they've got a very good talented pass rush and a very good secondary as well. So we got to be on target with what we do offensively, and we've got the receiving core to be able to challenge that way. So it's going to be a chess match. It always is, and Omar Smith is one of the best coaches in this league. He's been successful everywhere he's been, and so we're looking forward to seeing what we bring to the table and not worrying so much about what Baltimore's bringing to the table, because we know they're a good football team. For us, it's about progression, getting better this week, and making sure that we answer our own questions.
It is Blackjacks Weekly, presented by Bud Light, live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. We're going to step aside and take a quick break. When we come back, wide receiver LaMark Brown is going to be joining me, and we'll talk to him about his season so far and his career in arena football and also in football in general. So don't go away. The 2019 Atlantic City Blackjacks season is presented by Tropicana Atlantic City. This is Blackjacks Weekly, presented by Bud Light, live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township on 97.3 ESPN.
The Western Conference Finals. No Kevin Durant, no problem, as the Golden State Warriors take Game 1 at home.
Flips it up and in. Wow, Steph Curry.
Will Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers bounce back in Game 2? Or will the Warriors take another step closer to defending their NBA title?
It's Warriors-Blazers in the Western Conference Finals.
Game 2.
Coverage begins tonight at 8 p.m.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
Tilton Fitness, the official gym of the Atlantic City Blackjack players and Diamonds Dance Team, invites you to visit one of our 7 locations throughout New Jersey. Try one of Tilton Fitness's award-winning group exercise classes with over 125 to choose from every week. Use our state-of-the-art cardio and resistance equipment. Take a swim in our pool. Relax in our jacuzzi, steam room, or sauna. And complimentary babysitting for up to 2 hours. Tilton Fitness. See what we have to offer you.
Tropicana Atlantic City is not just a 24-hour gaming destination, it's a premier resort providing entertainment for everyone. Located on the beach and boardwalk, it's home to a wide variety of restaurants, bars, pools, and their very own IMAX theater. This season, Tropicana Atlantic City is proud to team up with the Atlantic City Blackjacks as the 2019 inaugural season presenting sponsor. For more information, visit Tropicana.net. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Roses are red, violets are blue. If you're looking for a great vehicle, Matt Blatt Kia is the place for you.
April showers might bring May flowers, but they also bring spring savings at Matt Blatt Kia of Toms River and Matt Blatt Kia in Egg Harbor Township. Bring us your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Right now, you can lease a 2019 Kia Forte LX for only $199 per month for 36 months with zero total due at signing, zero security deposit, and zero first payment. You simply can't make a mistake. Plus, Matt Blatt Kia has the all-new Kia Telluride in stock. Matt Blatt Kia always offers our 4-day love it or leave it return policy. If you have a job clearing $400 per week, Matt Blatt Kia wants to help you during the summer sticker sales event.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
Dial 888-703-6459 or go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details on offers. Expire 6/3/2019. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township. And now on Route 37 in Toms River.
For 4 days only, double up and stock up at JCPenney. Get 2 for $25 select women's shorts from A&A, St. John's Bay, and Arizona. It's the perfect summer look. And shop 2 for $20 on select men's polos from St. John's Bay in his favorite colors. The best part? You don't need a coupon. 2 is better than 1. So hurry into JCPenney now through Sunday and get ready for your best summer ever. JCPenney. Offers valid 5/16 to 5/19. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
The doctors at Reconstructive Orthopedics are dedicated to getting you expert orthopedic care you need for your bone, joint, muscle, or ligament injury or condition. When you need exceptional care focused on you, see the same orthopedic doctors that treat the Atlantic City Blackjacks at Reconstructive Orthopedics. Available in Bordentown, Cherry Hill, Medford, Morristown, Sewell, Vineland, and Voorhees. Reconstructive Orthopedics, focused on you.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
This is Blackjacks Weekly.
Presented by Bud Light on 97.3 ESPN.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township.
Back here at Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township, it's Blackjacks Weekly presented by Bud Light. Nick Kosko now joining alongside by wide receiver LaMark Brown. He's coming off another good game in Week 3 against the Washington Valor. I mean, LaMark, you're a scoring machine this season, man. I mean, you're scoring multiple times every single game. The end zone is your friend.
Yeah, I'm just it's just a product of the system. We never know whose day it's really going to be when we go out in the game. Hip does a good job of making sure that the love is spread around, and I just happen to be the hot receiver right now.
How's Atlantic City treating you? You've been in multiple stops in the Arena Football League. You've been around the NFL practice squads and in training camps. So how do you like Atlantic City as the new spot in the Arena Football League?
Oh, I love it. Having the first game a couple weeks back and seeing the city embrace the new team, it's a great feeling, especially when you're trying to continue to grow this league and bringing a new franchise in. I think it's very important to make sure that we have that connection with the fans.
What is unique exactly about Atlantic City? Obviously, people who are from this area, either Atlantic City or around in Atlantic County, they know that it's a very community-oriented area in this part of the state, in this part of the country as well. I mean, you've been in multiple stops such as Utah. You were in Baltimore last year. You've been down in Tampa. What makes this place so unique for arena football and the fact that the community is so involved now?
It's just that we were able to go out, and it's like an instant connection to a degree. We went out a couple weeks ago when we went to an elementary school, and you could just see the genuine excitement from the kids in the area, and then just talking to people around town. Every time we go somewhere, they recognize that we're players, and they talk to us, and it's just down-to-earth conversations, and they really embrace the team.
Now, you were in Baltimore last year. That's who the Blackjacks are playing this weekend. Do you use that as a frame of reference or some knowledge that they have some inside tips as to how to beat their DBs, or do you kind of say, you know what, that's a new team over in Baltimore, you just got to do your job this week?
For me, there are some things that we know, but at the same time, every year that a team is put together, it's a brand new team. Schemes change up, the way they work on their techniques, things like that change. So for me as a player, it's just focusing in on what my job is and make sure I go out there and do what I'm supposed to do.
What's it like having a guy like Randy? We were talking about him before, Randy Hippert at quarterback, and even before the show, Coach was saying he's been really sharp this week, and he's a former MVP in this league. He's one of the best all time in the league. What's it like being able to play with him now in Atlantic City?
I've been fortunate enough to be able to play with Randy the last 5 years, and I've been able to see the progression and how he takes care of the season. He's definitely a student of the game, and every time he steps on that field, he wants to make sure that he's perfect. And so he sort of that's something that you want to match as well as a wide receiver. You want to make sure you're on the same page with him. That way there's no mistakes on the field, and he just genuinely brings it out of you. And on top of that, he's just a great guy to be around all the time.
Let's talk about your career a little bit. You started out in the NFL, a bunch of practice squads. We were just talking before that you were on the Vikings practice squad. You were with them for a couple of years. You've been in other stops such as Atlanta, Buffalo, and also Tampa. What's that NFL experience like? I know you didn't crack and all of a sudden make a huge name for yourself in the NFL, but what's that like being able to play alongside those guys? I mean, you were just talking about it before when the Vikings made the playoffs back in 2012. You had a guy in Adrian Peterson in his prime, almost breaking the single-season rushing record. I mean, you've had these experiences all over the place. What do you learn and take away from guys like that, and also you're a few stops in the NFL?
Again, it's one of those situations that, it's your childhood dream, and it's something that nobody can take away from you. The fact that you're able to put on an NFL jersey and be in practices and be next to those guys, for about 8-9 months, I sat next to Adrian Peterson in every single meeting, and when we would travel to practice squad, he'd come and sit in our room and talk to me and my roommate about things. And, you take lessons from those guys that are veterans in the league about your craft and how to work at it and how to become better. I was fortunate enough in Atlanta to be there with Tony Gonzalez, and Tony taught us a lot of things. He didn't really care that you were a rookie. He just cared about you becoming a better athlete. And then that just continued with all my stops. And then obviously in Minnesota, being there with Adrian, being there with Greg Jennings, I just took a lot of things from those guys about how to go about perfecting my craft and becoming a better player overall.
Now, off the field, do you still keep in touch with those guys, and do you guys talk about football, or is it kind of one of those things where you just build friendships from those guys in the NFL and you kind of just talk about whatever at this point?
We sort of kind of talk about whatever. One of my closest friends that I ended up finished playing college ball with is Adam Thielen, actually. So me and him are still close. We talk every now and then and sort of kind of check in and make sure everything's everything's going well on both sides, whether it's football or family, and just sort of kind of keep that connection going.
Now, with those experiences, obviously you've translated into a pretty productive career in the Arena Football League as well. And then you look at the Blackjacks, and for the fans that have already come out and have seen some of these games, or at least watched them on TV, or listened to us right here on 97.3, you guys have a nice receiving core. It's you got Kendrick Gaines, you got Antwain Grant, other guys like Rashad Still and Denzel Keys, and we got who's on injured reserve right now, Paul Brown. I mean, all these guys have experience, and they've played at certain levels. I know Rashad is a rookie in this league, but he played Division I ball at Minnesota in the Big Ten. So it seems like this is a really close-knit wide receiver core, and also everyone has their types of abilities that they can pass on to other guys.
And that's the good thing about our group. The biggest thing for us as wide receiver group is to make sure that we are close. We don't care who scores, who gets the catches, who gets the yards. At the end of the day, we want to get the victory. And being able to pass on that knowledge, having the younger guys and everybody having a different skill set, you always sort of kind of pick things up from each other and mold that into your own brand of football yourself as a player. So I think it's a great advantage to have, Kendrick in, and having Grant, having Stills, having Keys, having Paul, and all of us sort of kind of be able to bounce these ideas off each other, especially if they see something in a route that can help you, create more separation.
It seems like these wide receivers are so good. Because I came to practice this morning, and then there was a new, I forget his name now. I'm afraid I don't remember, but there was a practice squad wide receiver. In practice, they made a one-handed grab. I think he's standing about 5'8". I mean, what do you guys breed these guys in the locker room? What's going on? What's going on?
The thing with one-hand catches is it's more of a reaction. And, yeah, you can practice it, but honestly, it's just a thing that happens in the moment. The biggest thing that we try to do as wide receiver group is just make the catch. Don't make it more difficult. But sometimes, that ball might be in a spot where you can only get it with one hand, and that's sort of kind of just what happens.
We're going to step aside and take one last break. On the other side, Coach James will join us. Once again, we'll preview a little bit more of the Baltimore game coming up this Saturday. And make sure to keep it locked. You're listening to Blackjacks Weekly, presented by Bud Light, live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township on 97.3 ESPN.
Atlantic City Blackjacks football is on 97.3 ESPN. Listen all season as the voice of the Blackjacks, Nick Kosko and Coffee Jones, bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
Quarterback sneak over the goal line. Touchdown, Blackjacks.
The Blackjacks host the Baltimore Brigade at Boardwalk Hall.
This Saturday, kickoff at 7 p.m. It's Atlantic City Blackjacks Arena League football
on 97.3 ESPN.
We're all in.
Tropicana Atlantic City is not just a 24-hour gaming destination, it's a premier resort providing entertainment for everyone. Located on the beach and boardwalk, it's home to a wide variety of restaurants, bars, pools, and their very own IMAX theater. This season, Tropicana Atlantic City is proud to team up with the Atlantic City Blackjacks as the 2019 inaugural season presenting sponsor. For more information, visit Tropicana.net. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
Tilton Fitness, the official gym of the Atlantic City Blackjack players and Diamonds Dance Team, invites you to visit one of our 7 locations throughout New Jersey. Try one of Tilton Fitness's award-winning group exercise classes with over 125 to choose from every week. Use our state-of-the-art cardio and resistance equipment. Take a swim in our pool. Relax in our jacuzzi, steam room, or sauna. And complimentary babysitting for up to 2 hours. Tilton Fitness. See what we have to offer you.
It's better at Burke Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. Better care, better service, better price. Over a century of better. And right now, get amazing deals all month long. Get ready for Memorial Day savings when you lease a 2019 Buick Encore for $119 a month for 36 months.
This is Doug Burke. Let us show you why for over 105 years and 4 generations it's better at Burke. See us off exit 10 of the Garden State Parkway or at burkemotorgroup.com.
0 due at least, 2,000 due if not qualified. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees extra. Dealer dock fee of $368 not included. Must have 2005 or newer non-GM lease. Take retail delivery by 5/31/19. See dealer for complete details. So don't miss Burke Memorial Day savings. And be sure to ask all about the Burke Promise. Burke Chevrolet, Buick, GMC Cadillac. Better care, better service, better price. Over a century of better. Again, visit BurkeMotorGroup.com. Exit 10 off the Garden State Parkway in K-May Courthouse.
Credit Karma can help you make financial progress by giving you free scores, reports, and monitoring. But Credit Karma does not give you the love that only a mother can. It's just an app.
I miss my mom.
But you can use Credit Karma to help you improve your credit. But it cannot solve the eternal questions surrounding the human condition.
Oh, come on, I need answers.
But signing up is free. No credit card needed. Just download the Credit Karma app now.
Oh, there's my answer.
Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
The doctors at Reconstructive Orthopedics are dedicated to getting you expert orthopedic care you need for your bone, joint, muscle, or ligament injury or condition. When you need exceptional care focused on you, see the same orthopedic doctors that treat the Atlantic City Blackjacks at Reconstructive Orthopedics. Available in Bordentown, Cherry Hill, Medford, Morristown, Sewell, Vineland, and Voorhees. Reconstructive Orthopedics, focused on you.
Ever wonder what ingredients are in Bud Light? Just check the packaging. We brew with hops, barley, water, and rice. Ever wonder what ingredients are in Coors Light? You can't check the packaging. You have to go to their website, download a PDF, and scroll to page 3. There it is. Coors Light brews with hop extract, barley, water, and corn syrup. Bud Light, brewed with no corn syrup. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri. Based on information available at MillerCoors.com as of January 16, 2019.
This is Blackjacks Weekly.
Presented by Bud Light on 97.3 ESPN.
Live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township.
Back here at Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township, it's Blackjacks Weekly presented by Bud Light. The 2019 inaugural season for the Atlantic City Blackjacks is presented by Tropicana Atlantic City. I'm your host, Nick Kosko, joined once again by head coach Ron James and wide receiver LaMark Brown. And, you know, fellas, we were talking about it a little bit, but now we'll dive into it just a little bit more. With Baltimore coming here, 3 straight home games. You guys are going to see them twice in 3 weeks, actually. Sandwiched in between is Albany coming to town as well. So, Coach, with Baltimore coming to town twice in 3 weeks, I mean, do you throw everything at them in one game, then worry about the second one later, or you kind of divvy up 2 game plans for 2 different games?
We're not holding anything back. We're focusing on this week. So it's all bombs away. We're going to do what we can do this week and worry about the next game the next time. So, you know, that's how you approach it. You got to look at every game as an individual entity, and, you know, this week is no different from last week. We just have to play well. We play well. We play with the type of energy and execution we played at the last time we were home. It doesn't matter who we play.
LaMark, what's it like playing in Boardwalk Hall? I mean, it's a very historic arena. I mean, there used to be a college football game, actual outdoor football somehow in that arena, you know, back in the 50s. I mean, what's it like playing at Boardwalk Hall, and you got your first taste of it a couple weeks ago?
It's an excellent arena. You know, coming to a new team, you never know how that arena is going to feel when you get, you know, on the field on game day and you get the fans in. And, I mean, it's a nice arena. It's loud. You know, the fans are in tune with everything, and it's just a great place to play.
It's not the backstage isn't too intimidating. It's like one of those weird but awesome historical sites within the arena. There's a huge stage, and all of a sudden you're like, what happens if that ball goes onto the stage? I mean, I'm sure Mark could probably hit the stage if he really wanted to, kicking wise.
Yeah, he certainly probably could. But, you know, we're looking forward to maybe the organ playing at some point during the game. Somebody amping it up like it's a hockey game. I don't know.
We got
something, a little different atmosphere.
I think we have to amp it up. I mean, before when the iron was coming in for the crossbars, I mean, they're silver. It's like, why can't we be that unique and have just silver crossbars and silver goalposts?
That'd be fun. Yeah, no doubt.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. LaMark, thanks for coming on the program. As always, it's going to be a nice game this weekend, hopefully. Coach, I forgot to ask you, uniform combination this weekend.
Back in black.
Back in black.
Here we go.
Is that your favorite, LaMark, black on black?
Definitely. I definitely like that combination the best.
Maybe white on white eventually this season on the road.
We'll have to do it. If the fans want a white out, that's the only way we're going to do that at home.
That'll be interesting. I prefer the blackout, and they look pretty sharp underneath the Boardwalk Hall lights. All right, that's going to do it for Blackjacks Weekly, for LaMark Brown and head coach Ron James. I am Nick Kosko saying so long. We'll see you next week. Game time, 7 p.m. Pregame at 6:30 p.m. this Saturday, right here on 97.3 ESPN. Atlantic City takes on Baltimore. You've been listening to Blackjacks Weekly, presented by Bud Light, live from Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township on 97.3 ESPN.